Hey YouTube, Male Cat Lady here. Today I'm doing a review of the PowerSpec 1710 gaming laptop from Microcenter. I purchased this almost a week ago now. We're 5 days in, I guess, and a little delay on my creating the review of this as when I opened the box, I wasn't able to get 75 Hertz on the display. That is the default spec for this gaming laptop. It is a very desirable spec to have, especially that it is overclockable to 100 Hertz, but I was unable to do that as well. This laptop had a slight issue when I bought it new. Microcenter was very quick to rectify the issue for me. My issue that I had was that I was missing a feature in the control center, and in the manual it shows that it's there. Now you're able to switch between the hybrid, so basically Intel graphics on the CPU, and the discrete graphics card, the GTX 1070. And now when you switch these two, which requires a computer restart in between there, mind you, you can go into the NVIDIA settings and adjust to your default refresh rates. I wasn't able to do that. Apparently this computer came with an older software or something installed, so that feature wasn't in the supplied control center, the PowerSpec, suite of software that it comes with installed. But Microcenter was able to, again, fix that issue via Wi-Fi, remote access to my computer, and that was awesome. I'm glad they did that. I guess next thing I want to talk about is, as you can see, I am playing PUBG. I am currently dead in the game. This is a gaming laptop. It's designed to game. So, and honestly, what better game to test it than a little PUBG action? Because it is a game that really does put a lot of stress on the computer and all sorts of, the graphics, CPU, everything. It runs the computer pretty hard because of its not optimized nature for everything out there. Right now I'm running the card at the stock everything, and we're getting pretty good temps. GPU 72C, I'll talk about it later when I get more into the gaming aspect, but honestly it handles it pretty good. It stays cool enough that it can handle this game and run 100 FPS. If you want it to run that high, you probably have to tweak some settings, as this game again is unoptimized and the FPS is all over the place. But I can get 100 FPS out of the box with it on Ultra on 1080p on this with stock settings on everything. And if you dial back the settings, you can easily get a very stable 100 FPS if you just dial back a few settings, and I'm sure most people do in this game still. So, other things about this laptop that we need to get into. It is speedy. It boots up fast. Comes with an NVMe hard drive and an not an SSD, but a standard regular hard drive in here. You get plenty of hard drive space to store your games, operating system, all your software that you need, which is really awesome to have. I believe there's actually room for additional hardware. Things I really like about it are the CPU. It's fast. It boosts itself up all over the place. It comes stock with 2.8 gigahertz, but I've seen this thing boost up to almost 4 all the time. It goes all over the place, depending on your temperature and what you're doing. It's been handling everything fine. I've edited and uploaded several videos with this laptop already, and it is very wonderful to use on Adobe Premiere, which is what I use most of the time to edit videos, and I have zero complaints so far. I'm pretty patient when it comes to my video editing. I don't require, as this is not my main job or anything, I don't require my computers to push videos out rapidly. I do all my editing at 1080p, 60 FPS, depending on the clips that I'm using. So I don't have a whole lot of and I don't have any experience, honestly, with editing anything greater than 1080p, I guess. Sorry, I don't have any experience with 4K or anything video. I don't have anything capable of recording that either. I use a 1080p camera. So Adobe Premiere handles this thing very well. Or this thing handles Adobe Premiere very well with its specs, with the GTX 1070 and your 7700 HQ. You know, I'm pretty basic around what my needs are. So this, I guess, if you're kind of like me in that regard, it's probably going to be a pretty good laptop, especially travel-wise, because it is a rather thin laptop. It was actually shockingly thin when I got it. I was not expecting it to be that thin, especially for the price range. I assumed it was going to be quite thicker, kind of like the older Asus laptops and whatnot, which have giant coolers on them and everything. But because of it's thinner, it makes a little bit more noise when it's running. It runs the fans, but you can definitely adjust all the fans in the control center. There are several different options in the control center, from quiet, power saving, performance, entertainment, and in there as well is where you can adjust to fan speeds. You can adjust how the power, how it uses its power, whether in your battery or plugged in like I am currently. So there's a lot of options that come with the stock suite of programs to use your computer, and having the fan speed selectable is really nice too. But I probably just leave it on performance for them because that's what I want from my laptop, because I'm going to be gaming on it, I'm going to be video editing on it, I want it to run fast and smooth. Probably not going to be using it for a lot of internet browsing and whatnot, because that's what I have my cell phone for and whatnot. But yeah, that's in the control centers where you change and handle all that stuff. It does have a RGB backlit keyboard, and it has several settings that you can access with that. A bunch of different color schemes based on region of the keyboard. You can do different sequences, I guess, flash and dance and music and whatever, to your taste. I'm kind of a static color guy. I prefer just to have your run-of-the-mill, blue, red, whatever, colors that I'd rather have. I don't really care about the music and thumping to the beats, changing the key colors. The screen itself on this laptop is very nice. The colors are great. The backlighting is minimal as far as, I guess, bleed and stuff. I don't really see a lot or notice a lot. I don't know. The screen is really good. The viewing angles on it, very good. You don't have a lot of issue with that either as far as variation of color that way, so that makes video editing, photo editing very nice too. Some downsides, I guess, to the laptop. Fan noise. It's pretty moderate to pretty loud when you're playing games and stuff. The fan curve on it is pretty aggressive, so it really ramps up the fans pretty rapidly when you are doing most things that actually utilize the GPU or the CPU. So it's going to get kind of noisy. In that regard, it is very tolerable, in my opinion, and depending on how picky you are and if you use laptops, I'm sure you've heard laptop fans. This one is definitely not the loudest I've heard. I've heard much louder fans, and for the size of it, again, it's very tolerable. And in most of my cases, I'll probably be listening to music or headphones or something like that anyway, so you don't notice the fans that way, when you're doing that. The speakers on it, again, another reason why I'd wear headphones or something, or recommend headphones. They're not very good, as a lot of people have said. I'm sure a lot of people have said the fan speeds are kind of loud too, but the speakers, nothing really to be like, wow. Supposedly it has a subwoofer on the bottom kind of thing, like a lot of laptops feature. A couple speakers up top here, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just run-of-the-mill basic speakers equivalent to, however, they do sound better than most computer monitor speakers, so I guess that's one good thing they got going for them. But again, nothing fancy. Other than that, gosh, there really isn't too much negative about it. You have tons of ports that you can access on it, which is great. The only thing that I really don't like about most of the ports on this laptop are, I think I'd prefer to have the power cord probably in the rear. Not a big deal, but either have the power cord kind of blocking your other ports here, or it's kind of sitting right in front of the dang fan, which again, it probably isn't a huge deal, probably doesn't affect the temperature much, but just kind of a pet peeve. I'd rather have it in the back. Or as far back as possible. But you get Ethernet, SD card reader, which is really handy for me, because that's what I use to film on. That's what I record my media onto. So, yeah, you get all those. Tons of USB ports on it. No ports in the back, no power, nothing. Ugly red color again, though. I'm not a fan of red, so I don't care about that at all. Alright, right now I'm trying out PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on this laptop. We are playing 1080p, everything at default ultra. Out of the box, in the plane, 53 FPS. Feels incredibly smooth. Monitor right now overclocked to 100 Hz, 60 FPS as more people leave the plane. This so far feels really smooth. We're out of the plane, we're over 100 FPS right now. Heading down into Yasnaya, which is a pretty big city, so this will get me a good test and a good feel for how it is. And obviousobviously this is a great game to honestly test like a laptop with and see how it performs, because this is one hell of a still kind of unoptimized game. It is a lot better since its full release, but I still think it's kind of a mess. It doesn't run the best, doesn't look the best, but it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at with a lot of games, I think. Because if you own a gaming computer, chances are you've heard of this game, you probably play this game, and yeah, as most people probably already know, yeah, they probably play the game. Play the game like I do, and you want to play high FPS, obviously. And this is a very high FPS, especially if you're running this monitor overclocked like it is at 100 Hz. It honestly plays really, really well on here. This is ultra, 100 Hz, G-Sync on, feels smooth. I really am really happy. And yeah, there's no tearing right now. Thank you to G-Sync. The monitor itself feels pretty good. It feels like it has a little bit of what do you call it? Ghosting a little bit, but not much. It's not really bothering me. Now we're dipping back down to the 60s again. We're kind of all over the place, it seems like, as far as FPS goes. But this is Yasnaya, one of the biggest towns, on an unoptimized, honestly, not the best optimized game there is out there to pick from. So, but it's a great way to test this laptop out and give it a hell of a workover. So we've been running for a while. Obviously this is not a water-cooled computer like the other one, so when it heats up pretty quick. CPU right now, 75, 78, all 4 cores, pretty much right at the 80s. Honestly, that's fine for this thing. Max is 100C, so we're well below that still. Have some room. The fan curve is balanced right now. Sorry, not balanced, but automatic, so it'll adjust fan speed based on temperature. GPU is running at 68 degrees Celsius right now, and yeah, when I run this game on this computer, she's pretty much pegged as far as usage at 100%. GPU overclock is on, however I don't have it overclocked. I wanted to see if it would automatically do so. It apparently doesn't automatically overclock. It looks like you'd have to do it yourself. Again, fine, whatever. Not a big deal. I think that's pretty much going to conclude my review for the most part. I haven't done anything as far as overclocking. There's really no real reason to overclock this thing unless you're kind of hell-bent on doing it. For me, it's not really needed. Maybe I'll do another video in the future overclocking it and see what kind of performance I can get out of it. Obviously, there's tons of other reviews out there on this laptop. Maybe not tons, but I have seen several other websites have reviews on there, and they've had overclocking, Firestrike, benchmarks, time split, all that stuff. So there's a lot of other, a lot of other info out there for you to go to. This video is obviously my video and my opinions on it. I bought this laptop with my own money, and as you've seen with the new recent YouTube changes, I'm not making any money on any of this stuff. I'm just kind of doing this because it's kind of a fun hobby for me. I'm enjoying it. So this is my laptop, my money, and my real opinions on it because, well, no one's paying me to give any opinions on it otherwise. So I'm already kind of halfway through editing the video while I'm recording this portion, just because I kind of wanted to make sure I had some other things covered. Temps on this thing, I think, are more than manageable. It's obviously winter, so summertime, maybe things will get different. Maybe I'll review the temps in the summertime differently. Again, on temps, it gets pretty warm in the backside here, towards your WADS keys. You do actually have some outlining on the WADS keys, but it gets pretty warm on the keyboard to your fingers touch. Great in the winter, mind you. No gloves on down here in the basement. It's cold. So it feels nice. It does get a little warm. It does get, again, a little loud, tolerable, whatever. Separate keyboard, you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, I guess some other final thought things. You got a webcam, you got a touchpad, you got no... you don't have any... I think the 15-inch one has a fingerprint ID thing, so this one doesn't have anything like that. Nothing anti-theft really about this thing. Other than the great support that Microcenter gave me with setting up this laptop fresh like this, honestly, this is definitely the best bang for your buck laptop out there, in my opinion. Another option that I've researched a little bit, kind of browsing gaming laptops, this is a Clevo chassis, I believe. There is another company called Electronics with a U in it. They make a very similar looking laptop. I think it's literally the same exact platform. I haven't seen it anywhere too much that's even competitive as far as price goes with this guy. You'll see a link for that one too, just in case you're curious on that one, because that one has like a black back, no red on it, nothing like that, but it looks exactly the same. So that could be a different option too. But honestly, Microcenter is a great... I really like Microcenter a lot. It's a fun place to go to. They have great deals, this laptop being one of them. So this thing is just, so far, been very beneficial to me for my needs as far as gaming on the couch, gaming on the go, video editing on the couch, on the go. I don't know. This is a wonderful laptop for all those things that I needed to do. If there's certain things that you need it for, I'm sure this thing can cover it. This thing's got tons of horsepower and can handle a ton of things very easily at this point. I see no need to upgrade this laptop in the near future. It's so powerful still for a lot of the games that are still even coming out, I bet. And I'm pretty sure I'll do some other game reviews when we get some new games coming out, like Far Cry 5 and stuff. See how this laptop performs with, some of the latest and greatest stuff out there. But yeah, this is a wonderful laptop, especially at the price point. I don't think... I'm not trying to knock it like that either. It's a wonderful laptop. It's probably worth more than the $1,300 I paid for it. At $1,300, it's kind of a steal, honestly. It's a really good deal. I would totally recommend buying this laptop. And thank you to Microcenter for assisting me very quickly and getting this thing running the way it's supposed to. with being able to switch between discrete and hybrid graphics. I can't say enough about how wonderful your service was as far as taking care of that, so I didn't have to drive all the way back down to Microcenter in crappy weather that we've been having lately in Minnesota. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Subscribe, like this video if you liked it. Leave any comments down below. I am a small channel, so I have time to read and answer your questions if you have any. And if there is any questions you have, please leave your questions. Like I said, I can probably read them and reply to you pretty rapidly. If there's anything specific you want to see in the future about this laptop, shoot me a question in the comments, man. I'd really like to read it. And yeah, thanks for watching a lot. Appreciate it.